Hello and welcome to April's episode of ScotlandShop on the Sofa. I'm Emma.
And I'm Lauren.
If you've been paying attention to our social media this month, you'll know that we've been exploring all things Clan Kerr. We can't wait to get stuck in and sharing more stories and historical facts associated with this historic Borders clan with you today in this video. It's always a treat to explore a clan with links to the beautiful Scottish Borders, the birthplace of ScotlandShop.
Discovering the heritage behind Scotland's clans is one of our favourite things to do, and we love sharing what we've found with audiences all over the world. We're definitely not experts, so please let us know if there's anything you think we've got wrong or if we've missed anything out. We'd love to hear from you if you have a link to Clan Kerr and what being part of the clan and sharing its heritage means to you. So please reach out to us in the comments or drop us a message.
So let's get started. The name Kerr comes from the Old Norse word Kerr, which is K-J-R-R, which means marsh dweller, which perhaps isn't the most glamorous name. However, as we'll uncover later, members of the clan have lived in some most impressive homes and castles found in Scotland, elevating themselves from marsh dwellers to dukes and earls. The Norse origins of the name reflect the fact that the first Kerrs came from Britain from Normandy, the French settlement of the Norse. Interestingly, there are also a variant of the Kerr found on the west coast of Scotland, particularly at the Isle of Arran. This is a complete separate part taken from the Gaelic word Kerr, which means dusky.
Septs of the clan include Carr and Cessford, so if you bear those names, you can also proudly claim a link to Clan Kerr. The clan plant badge associated with the Kerrs is bog myrtle, which perhaps pays homage to the family's watery links. Fittingly, centuries after the first Kerrs arrived in Scotland, their members would be appointed Warden of the Middle Marches, an influential royal office that reflected the family's growing influence in the politics of the Borders and Scotland more broadly. The role included responsibility for the security of the border, with the holder often required to take part in military action.
The first member of the Kerr family recorded in Scotland is John or Joannes Kerr of Stobo. He was a hunter of Swinihoe on the Debroots estate and was listed as a Norman land survey. There is Nicole Kerr of Peebles, who appears in a century later in a list of Scottish landowners who paid homage to Edward I of England. Family tradition states that the origins of the clan in Scotland can be traced back to two brothers called Ralph and Robert, or sometimes Ralph and John. These brothers lived in Lancashire, having settled there after the Norman conquest of England in 1066. For reasons unknown, they made their way up north to Roxburghshire, where they settled. One branch of the family, the Kerrs of Ferniehirst, claimed descendants from Ralph, and another branch, the Kerrs of Cessford, are descendants from Robert or John. Roxburghshire remains the heartland of the clan today and is home to some of the most impressive castles that are associated with the various family branches. But we'll get back to that later.
These two branches of the family have historically been rivals, taking the opposing sides in the various disputes in which the Scottish clans found themselves embroiled. When one branch supported James V, the other supported the Douglases. One branch championed the cause of Mary Queen of Scots, and the other led forces in the battle against her. This feud only came to an end when William Kerr of Ferniehirst married Anne Kerr of Cessford, uniting the two factions.
It is important to point out that there are also two spellings of the clan name, Kerr with two R's and Kerr with one single R, which broadly correspond to the distinction between the Ferniehirst and the Cessford branches of the family. The Dukes of Roxburgh, members of the Cessford Kerr with one R, Kerr, have held the name Innes Kerr since the early 19th century, when the title was inherited by Sir James Innes.
As if dealing with family feuds wasn't enough, Clan Kerr has also historically had to deal with rivalries with other Scottish border clans, who all sought to gain dominance in this strategically important region. The Kerrs were known to be one of the most loyal but warlike clans of the turbulent border territories. These rivalries included Clan Heron and Scott. In the 15th century, a battle of Bellandine cost the lives of both the Kerr and the Scott chiefs. In 1523, a Kerr of Cessford was killed by a follower of Clan Scott in an attempt to rescue King James V from the Clan Douglas. In 1552, the chief of Clan Scott was killed by the Kerrs of Cessford in Edinburgh as revenge. Messy.
Very messy.
Fighting between the two clans continued until the peace agreement was signed in 1602. So no need to worry, if you're a Kerr today, there's no need to be wary of any Scots you might meet.
The history of the Kerrs and their neighbours isn't all story feuds and rivalries. However, during the 13th and 14th century, the Kerrs strengthened their position with local and national politics through their marriages of the Somervilles, Holmes and Crichtons, all important families in the south of Scotland at that time.
The clan's motto is the Latin Sero sed serio, which translates as late but in earnest. So maybe if you're a member of Clan Kerr, you can use this as an excuse for the next time you turn up late for something.
I think I might be a long
Well,
lost
I'm
Kerr.
not a Kerr, but I think I could definitely use that one.
Members of Clan Kerr are acquired many titles, many of which nod to the borders locations that have shaped the heritage of the clan. Over time, clan members have held earldoms, dukedoms and lordships, with reference places including Roxburgh, Jedburgh and Ancram, Oxenham and Cessford. There are also many of these titles that are awarded to Kerrs who have served the Scottish kings and then are rewarded for their loyalty. When Sir Andrew Kerr was killed defending the infant James V when he was travelling to Edinburgh Castle, his family was given great rewards for his sacrifice.
However, they weren't unwavering in their support of the Scottish cause. Although the Kerrs fought on the side of the Scottish at Flodden, 300 years later they would support the British at the Battle of Culloden. One of the sons of the 3rd Marquess of Lothian was the only high-ranking person killed fighting for the Hanoverians at the Battle of Culloden, and one of his surviving brothers would go on to serve under the Duke of Cumberland in France. This reflects the precarious position of the clans within the Borders region, where they were acutely aware of the need to balance a desire for peace and cooperation between England and Scotland and the opportunity that raiding and feuds presented for members of the clan to demonstrate their bravery and reap the rewards.
The current chief of Clan Kerr is from the Ferniehirst branch of the family, holding the title the 13th Marquess of Lothian. He is better known as Michael Ancram and is a Conservative Party politician and member of the House of Lords. From 2001 to 2005, he was a deputy leader of the Conservative Party, unsuccessfully running to be leader. He is also the accolade of being the only Marquess to sit in the Lords. Born in 1945, he is married with 2 daughters. Regulations mean that the Lothian title can only pass down to the male line, so the heir to the Marquess estate and the chiefship of the clan is Ancram's younger brother, Lord Ralph Kerr, former High Sheriff of Derbyshire. Lord Ralph Kerr actually owns Ferniehirst Castle as well, and he visits there and lives there throughout the year.
The castles associated with the clan demonstrate the power that the Kerrs have wielded throughout history, as well as the need to defend that power from attack. We really were spoilt for choice when deciding which castles with a link to Clan Kerr we should showcase on our blog this month. Not only are there remarkable fortresses and stately homes, but these span not only the Borders region but can be found far south of the border in the English counties of Norfolk and Derbyshire. Blickling Hall, the birthplace of Anne Boleyn, was owned by the Marquess of Lothian from the 18th century until it was donated to the National Trust in 1940.
Focusing on the borders, Ferniehirst Castle, as the name suggests, is the home of the Ferniehirst branch of the family, and thus the historic seat of the chief. Originally built in the 1470s by Sir Thomas Kerr, it faced centuries of conflict, reflecting its position as Scotland's frontier. The castle was ransacked by the English in 1523, attacked and then retaken by the help of the French in 1549. Captured by the English again in 1570, burnt on the royal order in 1593, before being rebuilt in 1598. It was occupied for 200 years before falling into decay. In the early 20th century, it was used as a youth hostel, but it was renovated in the 1980s by the 12th Marquess of Lothian. It is still a family residence and can be open for tours in July and can be hired out for events and accommodation. I actually got the pleasure of going and Bob Lawson gave me a tour of Ferniehirst. It was lovely, worth a visit, add to your bucket list. One of our favourite Clan Kerr facts we found out during our research is that many Kerrs were left-handed, so the spiral staircases in the castle are allegedly built to give the advantage to the left-handed defenders over any right-handed attackers. The historical truth of this has been debated, but we like to think that it's true.
Pretty nice little quirk, isn't it?
Yeah.
The current chief's Scottish home is Monteviot House, situated on the River Teviot near Jedburgh. The house was built around 1740 and was restored in 1950 by the 12th Marquess of Lothian. During the 19th century, it was much celebrated for its idyllic position on the bend of a river, and it was during this time that it replaced Ferniehirst as the principal seat of the Marquess of Lothian. However, the site has a much longer history. The Roman road, Dare Street, runs through the park, and there was an earlier hunting lodge on the site.
The Cessford branch of the family can also boast impressive borders castles. Today, Cessford Castle is a ruin midway between Jedburgh and Kelso, but in the past it was an impressive stronghold with 6 stories and walls that were up to 4 metres thick. Records state that as many as 60 men were garrisoned to defend the castle in 1480s. The castle was besieged by the Earl of Surrey in 1523. He was able to seize the castle only because those holding the castle surrendered after being starved of supplies. On the back of this event, Surrey described Cessford Castle as the 3rd strongest castle in Scotland, and described Clan Kerr as the boldest men and the hottest that I ever saw in the nation. The castle was abandoned in 1650. Sir Robert Kerr decided that he wanted to live somewhere more comfortable.
No visit to the borders would be complete without a visit to Foors Castle, seat of the Dukes of Roxburgh and the largest inhabited house of Scotland. The gem of the Scottish borders has a jaw-dropping number of rooms. We weren't able to find an exact figure, but one online source claimed that the number is in the several thousands. Can you imagine trying to find something in a house that large?
Can you imagine the heating bill for a house that large?
The name of Foors Castle is thought to come either from flowers, or the French fleurs, or from the floors or terraces in which the castle is built. First constructed in the early 18th century, the grandeur of the house and its setting prompted Sir Walter Scott to declare Floors a kingdom fit for Oberon and Titania to dwell in. Lavish remodelling of the hands of the American wife of the 8th Duke in the early 1900s transformed the Victorian interiors and brought notable artworks by artists including Matisse to the castle. Whilst the castle remains the residence of the 10th Duke and his family, it can be visited during the summer and offers a range of events including music festivals and dinosaur-themed trails.
Today you'll find members of Clan Kerr throughout the world. It has been estimated that there are over 53,000 people bearing the name Kerr, and their SIPs in the USA alone. Those with the interest of finding out more about the clan, discovering their genealogy or connecting with their Scottish heritage can do so with the help of several Clan Kerr societies. Clan Kerr of the United States and North America boast almost 400 members, making them amongst the top third of all US clans registered in North America. The non-profit corporation celebrates Kerr and Scottish heritage across the continent. The Kerr Family Association of North America was founded in 1977 and maintain a genealogical database for members interested in exploring their own Kerr heritage. You can also pay them a visit at the Grandfather Mountain Highland Games. For those of you located in the Southern Hemisphere, you can connect with Clan Kerr Society Australia, who host events all over the country and an annual dinner in Glen Innes in New South Wales. You can find links to the clan associations on our social media and our Kerr Clan page on our website.
This international nature of Clan Kerr is represented by the famous faces who are associated with the clan. Notable members include Judith Kerr, German-born British writer and illustrator known for books including the Mog series, which follows the adventures of a forgetful tabby cat, The Tiger Who Came to Tea, and her semi-autobiographical book When Hitler Stole Pink Rabbit.
Tiger Who Came to Tea is one of my favourite books.
Yeah, I do like that one as well.
Englishman Andrew Kerr was a co-founder of Glastonbury Fair and the frontier of today's Glastonbury Festival, and also served as assistant to Randolph Spencer Churchill, son of Winston Churchill, for over a decade.
Well, can we get tickets?
Yeah.
Deborah Kerr was a Glasgow-born actress best known for playing Anna in the 1956 Rodgers and Hammerstein film The King and I, which tells the story of the governess of the Royal Court of Siam in 1860s. She was awarded an honorary Oscar in 1994.
There is also an Australian model and businesswoman, Miranda Kerr, born in Sydney and raised in Gunda, New South Wales. Kerr's childhood was spent in Australian countryside, racing motorbikes and riding horses on her grandparents' farm. She got her big break at the age of 13 when she won the annual Dolly Magazine model competition. Kerr became the first ever Australian Victoria's Secret Angel in 2007 and has her own brand of organic skincare products that she released on a self-esteem book aimed at teenage girls.
At first we were confused when researching footballer Sam Kerr, with some sources claiming she was Australian and others that she was born in Scotland. A note from our American viewers, we are talking about soccer. However, we quickly realised that there is in fact 2 pioneering female footballers called Sam Kerr, both of whom we think are worth celebrating.
The first Sam Kerr was born in Falkirk. Her sporting career could have turned out very differently. She was a skip for the Royal Caledonian Curling Club in Stirling, but at the age of 12 chose to dedicate herself to football. Kerr was a member of the Rangers team that won the SWPL for the first time that year, breaking Glasgow City's 14th year of dominance, and in 2022 she was named Scotland's Women Player of the Year. The second Sam Kerr is considered one of the best footballers of all time. She has captained the Australian women's football team, the Matildas, since 2019, and currently plays for the English team Chelsea. Her career has taken her all over the world. She is the all-time leading scorer in the US NWSL and is the only female footballer to have won the Golden Boot in 3 different leagues in 3 different continents, Australia, North America and Europe. And in 2022 she was awarded a Medal of the Order of Australia. Only the second time this honour has been awarded to a female footballer. I think you'll agree this is very impressive.
Very. It wouldn't be ScotlandShop if we didn't spend some time talking about our favourite thing before we go, which is, of course, tartan. The first 2 recognised Kerr tartans were the modern and the hunting varieties, but today there are several varieties to choose from.
This is the modern one?
Yep.
And we're wearing the modern scarves?
Here. Whilst Kerr Ancient and Modern are mostly red, Kerr Cranberry, as shown here, brown, mint, fuchsia and navy offer you a wide choice of colour options.
That's all we've got time for today, but we hope that you've enjoyed discovering a little bit more about Clan Kerr, and maybe now you're inspired to delve into your own Kerr heritage, or incorporate a nod to the clan in your next tartan purchase. Check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, email newsletter, social media to stay up to date on all of our clan content. Bye!
Toodaloo!